But let me tell you this: we're back with another episode of the podcast. Just another vibe. That's what we do.
Yeah,
fresh cut, man.
Looking crazy.
Feel like I conquer the world, baby.
Yeah, that's really how it is.
When a guy gets a fresh cut, confidence plus 10.
Yeah.
Riz plus 10. Overall
Yeah.
plus 10.
Yeah.
Nah, but we're back, bro. How are you feeling, bro? Fourth week.
I'm feeling light, bro. Like I said, I was gonna do 17 units, and I was ready for it. I was mentally prepared for 17 units. So when I didn't get into that class, it's kind of like, well, now I'm already mentally prepared for this much work. I need to substitute it for different type of work now.
That's right.
Because my mind's already set.
Yeah.
Did this much work.
At least you could do it into something productive.
Oh, I have to, bro.
Okay.
Bro, I can't not be productive because then I feel like a failure.
But are you in bed on TikTok type of shit? When I think of unproductive, I think laying in bed, on my phone. This is me personally. Like literally doing nothing.
My unproductivity is planned. I'll have my day planned and then, oh shit, okay, I have like a weird hour buffer. I'm gonna be on my phone for like 30 minutes and then be on my phone for 30 minutes.
Yeah, catch it up on the fucking
Whatever the fuck.
cheese man.
Yeah, cheese me, whatever. But when that 30 minutes hits, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It goes back like this too.
And then I have to get off of it. And I have to find something to do.
Yeah, that's facts. So last week when we did this, there was like comments, and one thing that like I was hella surprised with, and like I was like, oh shit, like maybe we could talk about this more, was the idea of God, like monotheism. The idea of, one God, because obviously there's monotheism, polytheism. The idea of one God versus multiple.
Like you're asking like my opinion?
Yeah, thoughts, hot takes. Now after this, I want to hear the hot takes of your boy.
I am not a strong believer of one or multiple or this. I just feel like we're just all
united.
Yeah, through like everything that you say, God, I can be like universe or like. I feel like everything is saying the same thing, which is different perspectives. And same thing with polytheism. I don't dive too deep to understand the universe like that. Like I do, but not in terms of like what is gonna be my life dedication. I dive deep in and like try to understand journey for truth, but not in a way where it affects my life. Where I base my actions around it.
Yeah.
And my morality and shit.
When I think like of the pursuit of truth, I think that's like what the ancient philosophers is like the highest form of good. Like the pursuit of truth and the pursuit of virtue.
I saw some shit that was saying that Stoicism is just religion without God.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see that, but there's a reality to Stoicism. There's no supernatural.
Are you saying there's no reality to...
Oh, there is, but I'm saying in terms of religion or different types of beliefs, a lot of those are encompassing like supernatural, whereas Stoicism is very in the now reality, rather than thinking of like heaven, hell. You're thinking of the present.
But I feel like that's the most important thing to...
Right, yeah, I agree.
I practice Stoicism all the time.
I do too, to an extent. Like I said, like I'm Catholic, and there's elements of Stoicism in Catholicism.
Yeah.
So I think that, like, carry your cross, carry your burden. No one else is gonna do it for you.
Yeah.
When
do you think you became like self-aware?
I think I'm barely self-aware now.
Yeah? That's crazy as fuck.
And I think, bro, everything there goes just mindset, bro. How you were conditioned, the environment you were raised, the conditions of the past, the conditions of the present. Literally all these variables culminating into the individual that you are, and that affecting your mind and how you think of certain things.
Did you have like a aha moment, or you think you kind of...
I think I did have an aha moment. I think that I was just tired of being mediocre.
Wow.
I was tired of being mediocre. I was tired of being like, oh yeah, like he's good. I'm like, nah, I'm trying to be great.
Did you associate that realization with your religion?
I don't think so. Right now, me and religion, we're not in a good spot right now. Like, I know it's the truth. As selfish as it sounds, like I want to do what I want to do. Even if I don't agree with stuff that my religion teaches. It doesn't even feel like I'm practicing that religion. I know it's right. I know it's the right thing to do, but I don't want to do it.
That's very interesting you say that, because I wrote about enlightenment and how I know it's the path. I know that's where the goal of happiness and peace is. But I took it, I saw it, and I was like, okay, I can do this, but I have materialistic goals first. I took a good look at enlightenment, and I was like, I'll see you in a bit. Give me a second, Because I told myself I need to do this. And so it got me thinking of Plato's allegory of the cave.
Okay,
Do you know
yeah.
about Plato? Where he comes out to the light and he sees the light and it burns his fucking eyes and he's like, fuck, you know? And then he goes back to to this cave and he's sitting there with the boys, with the rest of the motherfuckers thinking, I'm not excited about these shadows anymore, you know?
I know the real thing.
I know I've seen it. I know the path. And I feel like what I'm doing now is chilling there with the people looking at the shadows because I've chosen the path of materialistic goods and monetary gain. I saw the light, I see it, and put it to the side till later because I want to prove to the people that are looking at the shadows that I can predict the shadows correctly.
But do you think that's necessarily bad? I don't think that your worldly goals and your enlightenment are too distinct. Like, they don't have to be distinct.
Brother Jesus said, leave everything and follow me.
But not actually everything. Back then, when they would speak, they spoke in hyperbole, right? Jesus said, if your right eye causes you to sin, pluck it out. You're not actually going to pluck it out, you know? He's speaking like, whatever causes you to sin, you need to cut that off. Whether it be an individual, putting yourself in a certain situation, you need to cut that off. The idea of like, leave everything doesn't mean be poor. It just means to follow me, you're going to have to leave.
Sacrifice everything.
You have to sacrifice yourself, leave your worldly desires. And not to say you can't have worldly possessions, you know? But all that excess stuff, you don't need. That's what he was trying to get at. Because have you heard, like, it's easier for
a camel to go through the
eye of a needle. Now, what a lot of people are saying, like, oh, that means the rich can't, than for a rich man to go to heaven. It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to go to heaven. And a lot of people think that that means, like, you know, you can't have materialistic stuff, you can't be rich. That's not what it means. Eye of a needle was actually a place during the time that Jesus lived where it was a very, like, narrow space. In order to pass, you're going to have to let go of certain items because you're not going to be able to go through this narrow space. And it's not saying you have to leave everything. You're just going to have to, all the stuff that you do not need, you can leave that behind.
Choose what you value.
Choose virtue. Choose what you value the most.
But that's what I'm saying. Do I value this the most? Like, I have this plan of being an extremely wealthy person. Do I value that the most? When I've seen enlightenment, when I've seen the path to peace, right? David Goggins says that a lot of people want to be the great amongst the average. And once you see enlightenment, do you not come back to the people who are unenlightened and say, are these not the average? And just because I've seen the light and came back and choose to have these worldly possessions, am I just being the great amongst the average? Or am I going to be the great amongst the great of the enlightened?
Why not both?
Because if you choose this one, you can't have this one. I also want to bring that back to the eye of the needle thing. In the society that Jesus was living, he mentioned this because how someone became rich was taking from others, people, from
tax collectors.
Everybody's money, you know? And in today's society, although it still works very similar, we create fake money through the Fed and we can print more money. So it's not the same because we have like extreme lines of credit. So that back then it was like you weren't virtuous when you were being rich because you were taking from the poor.
Exactly.
And right now, although that happens, because we have different lines of credit,
different means,
we're not necessarily always taking from the poor.
And that's why I'm saying, bro, like, don't think that you have to choose between enlightenment and, you know, your materialistic goals, because you can be virtuous, you can be truth-seeking, virtuous, truth-seeking man and still be rich. You can still have all those material things.
But then,
how do you conduct yourself?
But then the thing is, would I consider myself an enlightened person if I still desire these materialistic things?
Why do you desire them? Do you think it comes from like a selfish, like I want to show off? Or do you think it's like I want to prove to myself?
It's a proof to myself thing that I can do it because I have the ability to. But I've only wanted these things because society has conditioned me to believe these things are the symbol of success.
Okay.
So I'm telling myself, I want to be successful. This is what society deems successful. I'm going to be that. But when you take a step back and you're like, okay, society does not know what true peace and success looks like because you see all these rich people going through whatever the fuck. Well, now my concept of success changed, but then I'm also not ready to live a life of a monk.
I don't think everyone's called to that life either.
It's because, bro, for me, you gotta full send that shit, bro. Like, I cannot consider myself a virtuous person if I am a slave to my desires?
It depends if your desires are well ordered or not. Are your desires selfish? Because from what I'm getting, these desires are not coming from like a selfish.
Of course they are. Like what do you mean selfish?
Selfish as in like, I just want money because I want money type of thing.
No, not like I don't want to accumulate wealth for the accumulation of it, but it's to prove a point to myself. And fuck it, everybody else in the process.
Yeah, I don't think.
Fuck it, like yeah, but mostly myself that I can because I can. You can't.
You
like
can.
we can because it's possible. Like why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just have those conflicting thoughts of what do I
Value the most.
value the most.
I think from either your monetary goals or your enlightenment goals, your fullness of happiness will never come from monetary goals.
I agree.
As much as it can suffice for such a short period of time, or sometimes even a longer period of time, there's always like a need to come back to virtue and truth. And you see that all the time. When you're all the way on the up, you get humbled, come down, come back up. That's just how life is. I think too, there's a relationship between that and like the hero narrative.
Explain the hero narrative.
The hero narrative of like, imagine you're the main character in your story, right? What have all the great heroes have done in the past? In the midst of fear, self-doubt, they did it anyway. They went in the dark cave. They went to battle the dragon. They did what they had to do because it was the right thing to do. So the hero narrative is basically the same thing. Finding yourself amongst the shadows, finding yourself at your lowest point. And that's different for everyone. Everybody's battle is different. Be the hero in your story. And I didn't really like have that click till recently. Battle your dragon, bro. And that's the thing, like from that dark abyss of wherever you were, just come out just a badass, such a strong ass motherfucker. It's crazy.
That's exciting.
It's crazy. I heard this quote. It was like, a boy does something because he feels like doing it, and a man does something that, despite how he's feeling, it's the right thing to do. That's when the boy becomes a man. And I was like, damn.
That's a fire quote. Why don't you have TikTok, fool?
Oh, because I know I'd waste hella time on that shit. And like what do I need it for? Like I don't have Snap either.
I don't have Snap either.
No, Snap, those are where the demons come out.
I don't have Twitter either.
I don't have Twitter either. Dude, if I was on Twitter, I know I'd be arguing with people.
You're like that?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not like that.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
like, they say something wrong. I'm like, actually...
Yeah?
Yeah. You have an obligation to correct someone for the sake of truth.
Really?
You have the obligation.
Well, what makes you think you have the obligation?
Well, I think in the pursuit of truth, you see a discrepancy, like something that's not true, you have to correct it. Because in that pursuit of truth, that error will get in the way.
But who makes you the facts police? Like, the fuck? It's Twitter, bro. Like,
if I see something wrong, I'm gonna say like, oh, actually, like, that's why I can't be on Twitter, bro. That's why, like, straight up, that's just how I am. When I hear, and it always happens just on this subject, bro. When I hear like people talking about like the church and shit like that, and they like say like, oh, the church teaches this, or they've done this, I'm like, actually, let me correct you here real quick.
Yeah, that's how we got into our whole debate over the LBSA. We were talking about God at the retreat.
Oh yeah.
Because you came in and talking about actually.
What were you guys? What were you talking about? You were probably talking with someone else.
I was talking with someone else.
About what? Do you remember?
About how I view God.
Oh,
and
yeah.
how I view myself as God.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, heresy.
What you said? What heresy?
Heresy.
What is that?
That's when like you make a statement that deviates from church dogma.
Yeah.
Or I think blasphemy would fit better.
Blasphemy.
Blasphemy. Rip my shit.
That's basically what happened though. That shit was fire though.
No, dude, we were the thing. Dude, you know what got me is we were doing that, right? We were chopping it up. We were there for like an hour or two, right?
Yeah, we were there for a long
people were.
We had a crowd going.
We had a little crowd.
We had a crowd going.
And I was like,
and it was all
this
love.
is what people like to like.
This is what it was about.
This is what people like to hear, bro.
Yeah, like bro, if you're too pussy to stand up and say XYZ, then
Exactly. To stand up for what you believe.
Exactly.
Because if you're not speaking the truth, your truth, then why are you lying?
Yeah.
Why are you lying?
And coming from the facts police over here.
I'm gonna write you up.
Hey, bro, that's a citation. You feel me?
I was the kid in class. When the teacher said something, I'd be like, "What actually?"
Yeah. Fucking, you know what? I was in class and she was like, economists believe that we operate as rational beings, but the reality is we're not rational. Who here thinks they always make a rational decision? Nobody rose their hand. I said, I was the only motherfucker in my hand that I didn't give a fuck. I was like, I always make rational decisions. And she was like, okay, everyone except Gio doesn't make rational. I was like, that's what it is.
No,
That's what it is.
I think one thing that I have gotten better at in terms of like rational decisions is keeping my impulsivity in control a little bit. I don't need that cookie. Like I want it hella bad, but I don't need it. I don't need to spend that like $5 on a coffee. I want it bad, but I'm not gonna spend my money on it. I'm telling you, bro, controlling the passions. That's what makes us different from animals. Being able to control your cardinal desires.
Yeah, Marcus Aurelius says true slavery is he who cannot control his either desires and emotions, something like that. That's facts.
Fuck, say both. Fuck.
Yeah,
It's
no,
true.
but he says both, but I don't know if he uses desires. I think he uses a different word. But that's facts. You got me fucked up if you think I'm a slave to my emotions.
Can be.
Nah.
Can be. There are people that are.
Oh, I know people. I can shout them out right now.
Shut them out.
Hey, shout them. No, 100%. There are. But I feel like, for me at least,
Yeah.
I feel like if all my decisions are based on emotion, that makes me weak.
What do you think about people saying, and I guess there's an extent that's true. Yeah, a lot of the time, the difference between the sexes, male and female, are that females typically base a lot of their decisions off emotion and how they feel, whereas men, they're a lot more rational and mechanicalistic. What do you think
Like
about that?
they're more logistical.
Yeah,
I'm saying. I think that goes back to masculine and feminine energy. Not necessarily gender, like I said it before.
yeah.
Because whoever has the most like masculine energy, I feel like masculinity is very cut,
Direct.
very direct, So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Very rational thinking. And with femininity, it's more emotional. They can go up, they can go down, sideways.
Like creative too.
And creative.
A lot more creative energy. I have no creative bone in my body.
I don't think I'm that creative either. I can think of some cool shit, but like in terms of like creating stuff, not really.
Yeah, that's true. Why do you think it is that we're in a college campus, right? Diverse, I mean, However, being young Latino men, we still find a way to surround ourselves with our own cliques. A lot of Latino men, we're gravitating towards each other. A lot of other races will do the same on campus at university. Why do you think that is? Do you think that's a bad thing? That's the first question. And why do you think that is?
Good and bad are relative. So whether it's good, it depends on where you stand.
Both.
Right, both. But I think we do it because it's familiar, and with familiarity, we have comfort. Like, I'm more comfortable with you because I know we most likely had similar experiences. So it's like, I don't have to put as much energy explaining to you shit for that I'm calling you a fool all the time, but I'm not calling you a fool, So it's like, because it's familiar, it breeds comfort, and because we're comfortable around each other, it allows us to get closer with every type of, like, anybody who you see that looks like you, right? Is it good or bad? If you want to embrace change, no, right? But if you want to have a sense of welcoming, bro, like, this is it. And for me, I was trying to find a fucking sense of welcoming. But even with that sense of welcoming, I found it, and it's like, I'm still trying to embrace change in other, like, areas, I'm still making friends that aren't Latino, like. Although I fuck with my Latinos out here, like it's just a huge comfort to have people that you can just assume understand you.
Yeah.
Even if they don't, fuck it.
Similar experiences, same with the language.
Yeah, what do you think?
I think it's the same thing. I also think, though, it's like a defense mechanism.
Against what?
Against uncertainty.
Yeah.
Against
familiarity.
Yeah, it goes back to that. I would say against uncertainty and even fear
of the unknown.
world,
the unknown. Yeah.
Fear of something new. Because when we came here, we didn't know what to expect.
Fool, I didn't see a Latino in sight. Well, I did, but like not the type I was used to.
Yeah.
It's like different ones.
I remember the first one I made. Shout out homeboy Marco. And it's like once you find one,
They're all there.
all the compas are there.
They're all there. Yeah.
Then he'll introduce you to another one, then another one, then another one. LBSA.
Bro, LBSA
is great.
So far.
Shout out LBSA.
Shout out LBSA, bro.
Shout out JoJo Prez. It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, it's like amazing people. Great vibes all the time.
Yeah, I'm fucking drained as fuck.
Oh God, bro. And tomorrow, you know what's the sad part? Do it again.
Rinse and repeat. That's crazy that we're just on this hamster wheel for 3 months. And that's what I tell myself, right? It's like, okay, look, it's gonna be fucking shitty for 3 months. Can you do 3 months? I could probably go through hell for 3 months. Fuck it, you know? All right, but look, it's only a couple weeks, bro. It's only X amount of weeks. That means just a day at a time, just one assignment at a time. Because you look at everything, it's like, fuck, there's a lot of work. Nah, just one assignment. Think about one assignment, one day, one more set, one last step, one more, bro. That fucking fuck. I gotta get it up. I gotta turn it in.
It doesn't matter how I do it. I gotta do that.
I gotta stay up. Yeah, I gotta stay up. Gotta pop another Red Bull. It's just one more, bro. Fuck, one more hour. It's really just grind time. And then like your mind doesn't even go back to rest mode when you're done, right? For winter break or summer, whenever there's breaks or whatever, I'm still like, wait, I need like a transition time so that I can get back into the mindset.
A lot of people that I've talked to that don't, that haven't experienced university, it's kind of tough explaining everything that goes down. It's like, school's not easy.
No, it's not.
It's not. For some people, I mean,
some people get it done. Yeah. And then kudos to them.
I'm not one of those.
Yeah, I know. I get it done. We get it done. The thing about me is like I would never not say it's not easy, because that's what I tell myself. I have to tell myself that it's light work. Look at this. Look at homegirl doing that shit. Homegirl can do it. I can do that shit.
Yeah.
Easy, light work. One assignment, easy. 10 pages. Let's do it. Have to read 50 pages by tomorrow.
Light. Give me 100.
Give me more, you know? Yeah. So I have to have that mindset, like where it's easy. So how's school? Light. But in reality, when you put that shit next to like a regular person that hasn't experienced it, it's like, what do you mean you've been fucking reading some 4 hours ago? Well, it's like, well, yeah, fool, but like when you think about it, just one more page. It's not like, it's just different perspectives, bro. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't get it. I say it's easy, it's not easy, but then it is.
The mindset.
Yeah, it's the mindset.
Bro, everything just goes back to that, bro.
That's what creates your reality.
Control the mind. If you can control the mind,
you are God.
Nah, I wouldn't go far as to say that.
Not yet, brother.
Never that. Cause you can't even say mind with. You can't even compare mind with God. Like that's not even compare. I would not think that's comparable at all.
Why not?
Because God doesn't have like a mind per se, like we have a mind. There's so many things that are different. Like we perceive time, space, reality so much different from what God does. He's outside of time and space. We see time linear. He sees it happening in one instant type of thing. We see one move on the chessboard. He's already infinite moves ahead.
Yeah, our definitions are different.
Yeah. Like I remember.
Where do you learn these characteristics of God?
Well,
because it's like I've heard it, but I've never seen it like in scripture or like in like But everybody says the same thing on how you describe God. Like, how do you guys?
I think it depends what religion you're from, but specifically Catholicism. I mean, there's no really way. Like you can't know God directly in a sense because you can't, see him, touch him, that sort of thing. However, you can make certain inferences based on reality, based on nature, that will get you to the conclusions that'll get you. Like for example, Thomas Aquinas, a medieval monk, part of the Dominican order. The stepping stone has various explanations for how we deduce what God is, and even then, you're barely scratching the surface. Like there's so much more I can say on this thing. I kind of have to refresh. I'm gonna read again. I have to refresh on it because I haven't delved into this aspect of metaphysics in a while.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't even know how to comment on that shit.
Yeah,
Because I haven't dove into it.
Dude, this shit's fucking confusing. Trust, bro. Trust. It's not for the faint of heart.